Happy 2022, everyone. Welcome to Festival Tales Podcast. This is the first episode of the new year. We are so excited to have you guys here. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. We are coming out to you with a festival recap. Babs was able to go to a New Year's event. I did not, sadly. So I stayed home, but got to ring in the new year as best as I could. But before we get into that, thank you guys so much for rallying together, submitting your stories. We got like 10 stories, I think, submitted, which is pretty awesome. So please keep submitting those stories. We got to keep this going until festival season 2022 comes back. So we really need those stories. So keep on submitting them. You can DM them or email them to us or fill out the form. So there's a couple of ways that you guys can do that. We love getting your guys' stories, so definitely keep on doing that. We really appreciate your guys' support, and we're excited to keep growing this podcast in 2022. And last but not least, this episode is brought to you by The Stage. So if you go to stagehoppers.com, you can see other festival and EDM related content, news, podcasts, YouTube channels, all the things. So definitely go check out their page at stagehoppers.com. And that is about it for all the housekeeping items. So Babs, it's all on you.
I do actually have one more housekeeping item.
Oh,
I actually forgot to tell you about that, but we have been uploading the podcast to YouTube now.
Oh yeah.
They are slowly all coming there, but they are up to date as well. So every week you can watch them now as well on YouTube if you so choose. And we are looking forward to getting some clips for you guys in the near future as well. So exciting stuff coming there. Check out the YouTube if you so choose. Okay, that's that new announcement we have for you. But let's get into it. So I went to Countdown New Year's Eve or Countdown Invasion. I think that's the difference between the two. There's Countdown New Year's Eve in Southern California and there's Countdown Invasion in Florida. So I went to the Countdown Invasion. It was supposed to be originally at the venue where Okeechobee is held at, which would have been awesome. It would have been camping. Apparently they had some issues with staffing down there, so it just made sense to move it to Orlando where they could easily get a ton of people. But nonetheless, we made the most of it. My thing is popping up that I need to restart my computer. Hold on, I'm so sorry. I'm not gonna do that right now. But anyway, so Countdown Campout, 2-day festival. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Day one was an interesting day, to say the least. There wasn't, at least for me, there wasn't any like particular artists that I was like, oh, I cannot wait to go see. There weren't any that I was like, I'm going to stay for the whole set. So it was very much a day where me and my group were just open to do and go see anything. And that's kind of what we did with that day. We started at the base stage or like the Nebula stage. We saw Lizzie Jane, OG Nixon there, and then we moved around. We actually went to the house stage quite a lot. They actually had the warehouses on the ground set up, and it was like pretty much a warehouse rave. They had the stage, they had the lasers going, they had fog going. What was so weird about the house stage was that every time we went in, it was super foggy. Like I don't know how it was so. And it didn't seem like fog, it seemed like dust. So we were like, how is this like occurring inside? But it was like a haze everywhere. And then you would walk out and it would like the haze would just be gone and you were outside again. But it was so weird. But we did that.
Someone's just like vaping the whole time. I'm just kidding.
Maybe, yeah. The whole front row was going crazy. Or they were really doing the like the, what's it called? The nitrous was really going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very hazy in that stage, but we went there a couple times, but it was very open day. And because of that, it seemed like very long too. I don't know if that's just because like they're not artists we usually see or artists we were like super, super excited for, but it did seem like a very long day to all of our group. One of our friends, that's the funniest story of, I'm not going to name his name or her name, but like, one of our friends ended up going home early, which was funny and not funny at the same time. But like they had a little bit of a time and they were like, I'm going. And it was so funny to get back home and their stories of like, because they went back to our apartment that is in Orlando, and they were like, yeah, I rang in the new year with the dog. Like that was my new year. And the dog, which was also funny, the dog gets like very scared of fireworks. And he or the person was like, we were just sitting there on the couch, like I was cuddling the dog was holding me. Like it was just like we were helping each other. We were both going through it. So it was very
They
fun.
were both supporting each other.
Yeah, exactly. When I got home, I looked at the dog and I was like, I think you were supporting that person more than they were helping you.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, day one, best sets, I'll go with, I think number one, in my opinion, was OG Nixon. Not someone I usually see, but really threw down kind of early in the night. Then I would go with Adventure Club and then Rusco. I have no idea who we saw at the house stage, if I'm really honest, but we did make our way there like total of 7 times that night, and we hung out for like 20 minutes.
Gosh.
And then we were like, all right, we gotta go. We can only
I'm
take
so
some.
proud.
We can only take so much, but it's little pieces at a time.
Wait, so who's OG Nixon? I don't think I've ever heard that name.
So this was my first time seeing him, but
okay,
it was definitely more like experimental based, because on that stage they had so him, Schlump, Champagne Drip, and Buku and Rusco, and they're all definitely more, at least Champagne Drip and Buku, in my opinion, are more experimental. I think of them with like Liquid Stranger and stuff like that.
He has 32,000 followers on Spotify.
Well, he's not small, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was my first time.
That's kind of small.
I guess, yes.
Yeah.
I have 0 followers on Spotify, so
I mean,
large. But
I mean, in comparison,
yeah, no,
like,
that's true.
Yeah, definitely like small, but up there.
But he was really good. Did a good job.
Good to know.
Definitely best set in my opinion. And then we closed out the new year with Rusco, which was interesting to say the least. And then the other stage was Deadmau5 and versus Test Pilot. And I have like a vivid memory of seeing Deadmau5 in like the rain at EDC Orlando 2019 and just hating my life during that set. So I had like no desire to go see that, but I did go see it because one of our buddies is really into him, and it was okay, but not just that.
I heard
that flashback from before. I couldn't.
Yeah, I heard his visuals were wild at EDC Las Vegas.
When we went over there, they were very crazy. They were very slow moving, but like, I don't know, just moving integrated parts like a lot.
So yeah, so Chase and I, if you remember from our top 5 festival stories where we were sitting on the bleachers, fireworks, super cute kind of moment. Before that, we were sitting in the bleachers, and you know how you can see circuit grounds from the bleachers at Cosmic Meadow?
Yeah.
You can see circuit ground like visuals. So we saw this visual, and it was Deadmau5, his like animated character attached to like the head of like a llama or like a horse or something.
I know.
And then
because I saw it in 2019. It's so weird.
And then he's like eating like himself or something.
Yes,
I don't know.
Yes.
And Chase was like, "Who is that over there?" And I was like, "It's Deadmau5. What the heck is going on over there?"
No, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's a very weird visual. I didn't see that one this time, but
okay.
Which thank God. I think it would have weirded me out again. But
yeah,
I saw the first time in the rain, and it was just like, what is happening? So yeah, it was an interesting night. Day one, really weird to me. They had no fireworks for New Year's, and it's an outside. It wasn't like an indoor venue or anything. So at least if they did, none of us saw them. So. But like the only cool thing was like, because it's kind of in the middle of Orlando, there were fireworks going up all around. So just people, but it wasn't like insomniac fireworks. It was just people in neighborhood fireworks.
Oh, there wasn't like any confetti or like balloons or like
nothing. It was
anything for midnight.
Well, we were at Rusco. They just put the nitrous on, just and I was like, okay. And then the other stage had some type of like sparklers that shot up from the ground, but it was very weird. Like I thought like there'd be outdoor fireworks or something to ring in the new year. So that was very
there must have been some budget cuts.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, to say the least. There were a lot of budget cuts compared to the other festivals. I mean, and I know, so I have some buddies that were in like the Insomniac East like ambassador program, and like I guess their group chat was like dead silent. Like there was no conversation or anything. Like I think a lot of them were like, what is this? I think because again, it got moved last minute. So I think they had a lot of things they had to put together last minute, and it was, but it gets better. So day 2, let's just move on. Day 1 was but day 2 was actually really, really good. It was a stacked lineup in my opinion. We started off with Rated R, then Versa, then Jessica Otterford, then Trivecta into Kai Wachi, and then at that same time was the Madeon DJ set, and then Fun Case back to back Dr.
Oh,
P.
wait, can you still hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, something weird just happened. Hold on.
All right, sorry about that. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, so we're going to quickly rewind it to recap so Ade can hear what I said. But so day 2 started out a little bit better, stacked lineup in my opinion. We started out with Rated R into Versa, into Jessica Otterford, into Trivecta, and then Kai Wachi, and then Madeon DJ set. Then it was Fun Case back to back Dr. P, and then ended the night, or then Griffin DJ set, and then Sullivan King and Slander. And I actually, those are all different stages, but I actually hopped around. So I saw the beginning of, I gotta figure this out. I saw the beginning of Madeon, end of Kai Wachi, beginning of Fun Case back to back Dr. P. Only stayed for 10 minutes and then saw all of Griffin basically. And then saw the beginning of Slander and ended with Sullivan King. So that's what I was hopping around everywhere. And that's part of what I was going to get into was the festival itself was so small that you really could do that and not miss a beat. It wasn't like you had to run and it was super crowded. It was oddly very like empty. Day 1 was super empty. We had no problem going anywhere. You could get to the stage and be up front like easily, like zero problem. And then day 2 was just a tad bit more crowded, but same thing. Like we had no problem going between stages. It wasn't like EDC and stuff where it can take you like 20 minutes, or even EDC Orlando sometimes can take us like 15 to 20 minutes. And that's not necessarily even as big as some of the other festivals, but this one was super small. The stages were, I'm not exaggerating with you, it took us maybe 2 minutes to get to each stage.
Was it like an ubby-dubby kind of size?
I would say smaller than that.
Oh, wow.
They really packed it into this area. That's why we think they had some type of budget cuts or something went wrong. Again, last minute moving, they could only get a certain amount of area on the fairgrounds, but yeah, it was very small. The stages surprising looked really good. The main stage was by far the biggest stage, and then the Nebula or like base stage was only really 4 small pillars, and they were definitely smaller than the ones at Ubi. So I would say maybe half the size of the ones at Ubi, to give it an idea of, so you can visualize it. But
was there a sound bleed?
No, surprisingly not at all. The only thing that there was you could see the main stage from the other stage like very clearly on certain sides, because it's built into the amphitheater of the main stage. So like there's 2 ways to go. You can walk the side of the hill and then get in, or you can walk up these stairs and be at the back, and then you have to walk down into the amphitheater. But the way it's like the hill is, you can kind of see part of the stage. So there were times where like we could see whoever was on the main stage, like just go. Like I remember looking over during Sullivan King and seeing Slander, like the lights were just going crazy and like fire was shooting. I'm like, that looks like a lot of fun. But yeah, so it was very easy to like go back and forth between stages, which I liked because it was cool for me to like be able to do that. I don't usually get to like hop around without missing like again 20 to 30 minutes of a set, whereas this time like I saw the beginning of Dr. P Fun Case and stayed for about 15 minutes, which I knew, and they like opened it up like just crazy, like it was just madness. And within, we left within 2 minutes, we were back at the Griffin DJ set. Only missed about a total of 20 minutes. And the Griffin DJ set probably was the best of the weekend for by far, and is definitely one of my top sets to see now. I've seen him twice, and I prefer the DJ set overall. If you guys can get a chance to check that out, it's a little bit more harder than his other sets, but it's not like it's straight dubstep the entire time. He mixes it very well. And he was one of the few artists that I thought was like, didn't care. He was popping off on the pyrotechnics. Like he was shooting up flames. I swear, like, every second, like every 2 drops, there was flames were just going.
That's funny.
Which was awesome.
That's awesome.
Trying to think what else. Another artist I don't usually see is Medeon.
Okay, I have to stop you.
I don't know how to say it.
Madion? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, that looks right. That looks about right. Whoops.
I was like, who is that? Is that a dubstep artist?
Everyone has their way. I have no idea. Yeah,
Madion.
So say it again. Madion. He had his DJ set, which I have never seen him live. So that was, I actually went to him and I was like, oh, I'm going to stay for the beginning. And then I ended up staying the majority of the set because I actually liked it that much. So really,
he's a good time.
Very good surprise set for me.
Feel good set.
Yeah, I would say that was my most surprising set of the weekend. Whereas in like, it just like I said, I stayed. I wasn't planning on staying for more than like 15 minutes, and I stayed for like 45. Yeah. So very good set there. Other than that, like I said, festival was overall really good. Day 2 definitely made up for day 1 being they're just being not as good as we were expecting, and no fireworks for New Year's. Other than that, I think for a first year festival, overall really good, and definitely I'm sure they'll put more money into it and they'll improve it even more. We also saw the Slander after party, which was bonkers. I will be very honest. I was not expecting, because like I've seen Slander so many times. Like they're definitely one of the first artists I got into, like all that stuff. So I went and saw a lot of their sets. And usually they like bring out the hard stuff, for 30 minutes. And then the last 30 minutes, they slow it down and play like, they're I'm
sorry.
Yes. And they
Don't leave me.
Yes. And the Fall Apart remix, they play the entire 9 minutes of Fall Apart remix, which I did like for a while, but when it's the same drop over and over again.
Yeah.
So nothing against that, but I purposely left their set at the festival because I assumed it would get slow. And at the after party, they did not let up. I mean, they were just hammering. I'm honestly not kidding. It was one of the hardest sets I've seen of the year. Like that's
wow.
Well, I guess that was the first day of the year, so that doesn't really count. But
the hardest set of 2022 done.
Day. I forgot it was New Year's Day. But no, it was definitely one of the hardest sets I've seen in a while, especially from them. They just kept hammering it. They brought out Sullivan King for a little bit. Then we thought they were going to switch it up. They played like one of their songs, but they only played the first drop and then they switched it right back into going hard. So I was thoroughly impressed. Might have to go revisit some Slander sets if that's how they're up in their game nowadays. But
that was the only bass set that Chase liked in 2021. Really? Yeah. The only bass set.
Pretty hard. I mean, they really do for those first 30 minutes. Like it's very hard compared to other DJs. It's just they usually slow it down and then
they bring it back up.
Right, time to leave. But this time they hammered it in. So
that's awesome.
Thoroughly impressed. Other than that, I don't really have anything. Nothing crazy happened besides like our one friend that was like, I'm going home. That was very funny. Unfortunate but funny.
Was that your first New Year's festival or event?
Yes, it was actually. That's a good point. Yeah, it was my first New Year's. I've gone to like a show before, but not like an actual festival and spent it there. I still want to make my way out to either Lights All Night or Decadence. I just think those look way better. I think Lights All Night takes a cake. Every time I see their stage designs and their, well, you're shaking your head, but every time I see their stage designs and like the art attractions they have, I'm very impressed. But that, again, that's only on social media, so I haven't actually seen it, but I was impressed by it.
Yeah. If you're going to spend money and fly out to a New Year's event, I'd recommend Decadence. Even Decadence, Arizona. That was the New Year's event I went to from 2015 to 2018. So 4 years in a row. And so I went to Lights All Night 2019. It was a good time. I think logistically there are things that could be fixed. And I had a friend that just went to it this year and she said there was a lot of things that needed to be fixed. And apparently they also had the artists like super turned down, like in volume wise. If you weren't a headliner, they had their volume like super turned down. I saw like Of the Trees, he tweeted about it. Because I guess his set was like super quiet and like a lot of people's sets were super quiet. So they have some things I think still to fix, but I've always wanted to go to Decadence, Colorado, but I hate being in the cold.
Is the Arizona one stage or two?
They have, I think they had 3 stages this year, I'm pretty sure.
Because I feel like the one, it seems like the Colorado one or one of them only has 1 stage or something. Well, at least they only film the 1 stage. That's what
Colorado has 2 stages, I'm pretty sure. Decadence, Arizona, I think they had 3 stages and then they had a silent disco as well.
cool. Those are
so like technically 4 stages. Let me see. Their main stage though was crazy. Like Decadence has never gone like that hard. So it's super cool to like see it kind of grow. Yeah, they had 3 stages and then a silent disco.
I do like the mega structures. Something I do like the tent structures.
Yeah. Yeah, their mega structure was insane. Let's see Decadence, Colorado. I don't know. They have 2 stages and a silent disco. And Lights All Night had 2 stages inside, a silent disco inside, and then a stage on the outside. I'm pretty sure from what I remember. But anyways, I think we're going to try and do Decadence, Arizona next year. I think I convinced Chase on it.
I might be there. I don't know. I definitely, it depends. I mean, this year the lineup for Arizona was like bonkers. Like I wanted to go to that for sure, but it just didn't make sense for me to, like no one else could do it with me. Like that was the thing. So
yeah,
I was like, I'm not going by myself.
We'll see. New Year's events are fun. Getting to like do it with like your friends and stuff and ring in the new year. And like you don't have to worry about like bar hopping or like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun.
What's your most fun New Year's you've had that's not at a festival?
See, I couldn't even tell you. Like it honestly would have to be this past New Year's, like literally this past weekend, because 2020 we went out to dinner and then Chase was asleep before midnight because he wasn't feeling well because he was like kind of sick. He didn't have COVID. We don't know what he had. He was like still getting better from that. And yeah, he fell asleep on the couch. And then I tried waking him up and he like was like he slept talked or something to me. Like I was like, Happy New Year, and he was like, huh? Good night. And then he just like turned over and then he woke up at 2 a.m. and he was like, I missed it. And I was like, I literally said Happy New Year to you and you just were not awake. And he was like, I'm so sorry. So that was 2020. And then before then, like I went to a New Year's festival every year since 2015, you know? So
crazy. That's awesome.
This past weekend we went out. Chase got us a hotel downtown and we did like a little staycation downtown, which was cute because like we don't go downtown in Austin really. So we went out to dinner at this really nice Italian restaurant and then we just like went to this like coffee place that's also a bar, got a drink there. And then there's this new bar in Austin that's called, I think, Hen House or something. And it was actually really cool. They had like disco balls and like house music. And like I ended up running into someone that was like, oh my God, are you Vibe with Ade? And I was like, what the heck? Like that doesn't really happen when I'm like out in normal places. Yeah. And they had like a group of like 30 people and they basically just kind of like adopted Chase and I to like hang out with them for the rest of the night.
Awesome.
So we were there for like a while. Yeah. So I got to meet some people and then we were there till midnight and then we ended up leaving and going back to the hotel after that. It was pretty fun because we don't go out that often. So like I had a good time. But I don't know, being at a New Year's festival is always so fun.
Yeah, I mean, this one was good. I definitely want to try some more. So
what was your most fun New Year's?
I would have to go with, I think it was 2019 going into 2020. No.
Yeah.
No. That doesn't make sense. Had to have been 2018. Wait, what? That's a while ago. I don't know. No, I don't know. But I know what we did. We last minute we got like 30 of us together and rented a party bus, and
Oh,
it
fun.
took us all around the Tampa Bay area. We went like to Tampa, we went to St. Pete, and then we went, I think we also went to like a Dunedin area, which if you know the area, it's like a 30-40 minute drive. So you wouldn't normally do that. Like normally you'd be like, if I'm going to Tampa, I'm in Tampa until I go home. If I'm in St. Pete, I'm going to St. Pete and then I'm done. But it was fun to like all pregame at one place, get in the bus, get like rowdy on the bus. And we were like, we're all big dubstep fans. So we were just like blasting dubstep on the bus, which was fun. And like, it was just a good time. I don't know. It was one of the better New Year's I've had for sure.
That's fun. Yeah, for Decadence, we would get party buses to go, and it was always fun.
Definitely a move. I don't know why we didn't think of that this year. That would have probably made things like way more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. But
so wrapping up, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate this festival?
Oh, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna have to give it 5. 5's the number that comes to mind. It was like I said, it was a first year festival, so I'm banking on that there will be improvements, but it was definitely different than ones I've been to before. So, but
you gave some room for growth.
Yeah, room for growth. Room for growth. Yes, it was positive, but it was still fun. Day 2 was stacked. Day 2 made up for it. Made it a better experience. Because I will say after day 1, we were all like, "Oh no, this is gonna go."
That's funny.
Day 2 made it good. So, oh my gosh, you just reminded me of your story about Chase falling asleep. I don't know why it rang in my head, but on New Year's Eve at like 8:00, I went up to one of the guys and I like just shook him and I was like, "Happy New Year!" I got super excited. He was like, "Oh, Happy New Year!" What? No way already? And I was like, "Yeah, dude, Happy New Year!" He's like, "Why are we were at the house stage at the time?" He's like, "Why are we at the house stage for New Year's?" And I was like, "We are, bro." And then he like looked at his phone. He was like, "Bro, it's 8:00, man. You can't do that to me." It was so funny. It was so funny.
That is funny.
That's the best thing I have for us from this weekend.
Oh my God. I saw on TikTok this girl, her boyfriend like took a nap or something, and then he ended up sleeping like the whole day away. So she changed the date on his phone to January 2nd. And she woke him up. She was like, babe, like, oh, you're awake. Thank God. Like, it's January 2nd. Like, I don't know what was going on with you. Like, I was about to call the hospital or something. He was like, what's going on? And then he checks his phone and he was like, no, that can't be right. And then she was laughing so hard that like she ruined it, but it was a really funny joke.
Oh my gosh. I would freak out. Oh my goodness. Good Lord. But yep, that's all I have. Check out Countdown next year when they revamp it even more. So.
Based on your review.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.